to a main or major national mega project, which is the agriculture expansion, and which is also supposed to be a major file at the top of the agenda of the political leadership. Now, talking in particular about the agricultural and sustainable development, talking about the Future of Egypt Authority, and as they are driving the largest scale agriculture and land reclamation projects aimed at increasing cultivated land and improving the water management projects, building integrated agro-industrial systems across Egypt, and how we're supposed to secure the food sufficiency and to start to revolutionize the industrial and the agricultural industrialization. We're talking about this in detail about this with our prominent guest here in the studio, the Ambassador Dr. Mohammed Hamza Al-Husseini, General Counsel of the UN. Your Excellency, great pleasure having you with us. Very good morning.
Pleasure having you today. Thank you so much.
Well, great mega national mega project and aiming at the agricultural expansion, securing the food sufficiency, exporting, trying to finalize the gap and deficits, also to revolutionize the agricultural production or the industrialization. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still ahead on LTV International to this edition of The Breakfast Show. And now talking in particular once again about the agricultural sustainable development in Egypt and concerning the last project of the Future of Egypt Authority in the New Delta, expanding of the agricultural landscape and also securing the food sufficiency. Delighted once again to welcome our dear guest here in the studio, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Al-Husseini, General Counsel of the UN. Once again, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, securing the food sufficiency nowadays in such geopolitical turbulences and conflicts, the whole world, of course, in particular after the COVID-19, it's supposed to be something essential. Yeah. So how you find this within the vision of 2030 for the sustainable development of Egypt?
Let's put it that President Fattah Sisi, when he took the leadership in 2014, one of his major importance field was the agriculture. And then when we have did the economic reform for the Egypt economy starting in 2014, there was the national food, the national security of the food to the Egyptian people. So we had at that time a lack of exports for our agriculture goods, and we find that if any country wanted to have a strong economy, one of the most important fields is the agriculture. And Egypt, historical wise, is one of the countries have been known as the center of the agriculture products in the Middle East. But when we talk about the previous regime, that there was a huge problem to us that we import 86.4% for our goods as an agriculture, industrial, commercial from abroad. We didn't look to focus basically as an administration in how we will develop this, how we will not just count on 9% of the 1 million kilometer that we have it as the size of Egypt. You can imagine that from 5,000 years ago up to 2014, Egypt have just 9% of its size where the Egyptian people is living, and where the agriculture, the industrial, all the economical phases is in this particular space. So in 2014, when the economic reform happened in Egypt, that there was one of these parts that having a council, this council or authority will handle the development of the agriculture zones in Egypt. So Egypt the Future have been announced in 2017. So this council or this authority to see where is the lands that we can develop and we can maintain it to have a production from it. So they make look like a map of Egypt, and then they start to find the lands that nobody looked to it, and then they to see how we can reform this lands. So the first thing in the agriculture, it's where the water is. Where is the water, and is this land can be planted or no? So as President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the announcement of this mega project, because the new delta, we are not talking about a small project. We are talking about exactly 35% a new added
to the agricultural lands.
To the agricultural lands in Egypt. You can imagine in 5,000 years
1.5 million فدان, or
1.5 million
Yep.
فدان to reach 2 million فدان
Exactly.
within the next 4 years.
Huge.
How many fedans that we had in Egypt in the last 5,000 years?
I think 4.
No, we have,
We became like 4.
let's say, no.
There were 9.
9.
9.
Now you are
9
adding
million. Yep.
2. This means that you are already taking 25% of this.
Yep.
So imagine that in one project you do that. It's meaning that this administration, when they say something, they do it.
Yep.
And this...
No, and they showing case after they proceed,
That's
not
it.
in the very
Not
beginning
before.
and just laying the cornerstone of the project. No, we are in the process.
I'll tell you one thing. I
Yeah.
come here 10 years ago when I started to be a guest in this respected and lovely channel to me, Nile TV International. It's my home here since 10 years ago. We come here in Egypt, the Future Forum, which had been done in Sharm el-Sheikh in 2013. And that time, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said what? Said this forum will be start of the new Republican. And when we say something, we will do it in a short period of time. And after that, when we come to announce a project, the project is already there. The people at that time, they didn't believe.
They didn't imagine.
And they didn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Because the previous administrations in Egypt, there was look like a lot of says, but when it's come to the land, there is nothing is happening. But now they announced the project when the project is already on the spot. It's already, there is a production coming from this project. So this project cost, it was 800 billion baht. And what they have did, they challenge the gravity. They challenge the natural the natural tears of Egypt, because in the last 5,000 years that the Nile, when it's come to the south, then it will bring its water to the north in the Mediterranean Sea. So what they have did is they make 13 water refinery stations to change the direction of the water, not to come to the Mediterranean Sea, but it will return back to a Dab'a stage, and this is where it will become the new delta. Doing this kind of project, it's impossible to do. That's why President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the presentation, when Colonel Baha Ghanam, when he was speaking about the project, he stopped him and he told him, talk to the Egyptian and to the world how we change the direction of the Nile to plant our own land.
Yeah.
And this nobody
And therefore,
think.
suppose one of the major obstacles and challenge
Of
of,
course,
the project is
of course.
the water and lack of water that
Of
we are
course,
now
because
facing. Yeah.
in that area there is no water, and how you will bring the water from there to
Yeah.
here by making 13 stations, and this 13 station, it take from you look like 3 years to do it, and it can work or no, because you are against the gravity, because
Exactly.
the water is like that, and then you are bringing it again to the opposite direction, and then you will start to make channels of irrigation, and after that you will scale which products that you need in Egypt to stop reliance in the imports goods. This is not just a project that we did. This is really a mega project to add 2 million faddan to the agriculture lands in Egypt in 3 years, and coming to 2030, cutting from the imports quantities of the agriculture goods that we having a problem in the agriculture goods, that the corn, some of the seeds and so on. There is look like 25 list of products that we are importing from Russia, from Ukraine, from the United States, from other countries. Now by 2030 you will reduce 40% of this imports product list to be planted in your country.
40% reducing, and more than, I mean, many billions reducing and getting away of our domestic budget. I mean, also securing millions of jobs, direct
8
and
million.
indirect jobs.
8 million
8
jobs.
million jobs.
Imagine that this project will secure and generate 8 million direct and indirect jobs to the Egyptian families. Because we are opening now to the...
But 10,000 direct jobs.
Direct jobs 10,000.
10,000.
But in the 4 years we are reaching 8 million.
Wow.
And not just that, you are talking
And they are
about...
sustainable, I mean
Permanent.
not within
Not
the
just
project
for this
process,
project
yeah.
as a season
Yeah.
and then it will, no, it's a permanent.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, which is the important, is you are not just planting a land, you are not developing a land, you are making an agriculture complex, a food complex to Egypt.
Exactly.
And this is when we talk here to the investors abroad, in Asia, in Europe, in the United States, and when we talk to them about that our land, that we can do, make the impossible possible, as what we did in this mega project. So you guys come on, you have technology, we need it now in Egypt, and let's make a joint venture corporation between the foreign investors in the agriculture in those regions and in our country. Because after the Hormuz Strait and what's happening between Iran and the United States in this war, the whole geographical, economical map of the planet will be changed.
Exactly.
Because nobody can rely again in the Strait of Hormuz that it will be where the goods and the food supplies all over the world is coming. From the GCC, the energy, from Asia, the factories, and then distributing to the whole world from this strait. No, it will not
In this
come.
particular, we're working also in a project, also another mega national project to diagram
Yes.
7 major water corridors
Yes.
instead of the
Yes.
Hormuz, the Strait of
Yes.
Hormuz. Yeah.
And this is now because, you know, when this war have been started, and we know this war have been started because the cancer of the Middle East, Benjamin Netanyahu, when he come and he order
Yeah.
that we need instability to the Arab countries,
course.
and how you can affect the GCC countries. It's a peaceful countries. These countries have been done an amazing module of economic development. So how they will do this by putting the Iran in the situation, and Iran as an ideologian countries, when it's come as a political changes between Iran and the Arabs, yeah, they are our enemies. They are not an ally.
Yeah.
They were just waiting the opportunity for them to attack us.
Exactly.
And then when the opportunity come, they already show
But
us.
disregarding this, there were like so great exerted efforts from the Egyptian side from the very
course.
beginning until now
Of course.
to prevent the dragging us all and the whole region to the war.
Of
and
course.
what the President El-Sisi himself, he warned from.
And
he warned
and
against.
this is an valuable adding from your side, that when we see that Egypt position, and a lot of people and a lot of countries have tried to demolish this role, a lot of places, and I will not call them as an enemies. No, any successful country will have people will invade and will attack it by other means. But Egypt's role, and I will talk here at diplomacy,
Yeah.
since 100 years ago, Egypt didn't ever interfere any other country situation or a political, economical, severe, any way of interfere. Egypt is not doing that.
Exactly.
Egypt didn't attack any country in its history.
Yeah.
Egypt always playing one role, is what it is, the peaceful diplomacy.
Stabilizing the whole
Stabilizing
region.
the region. And when it's come that this, starting from the war from Israel to Gaza, who in the war? Egypt.
Yes.
Why President Trump and the European leaders trusted that this country, of course in a cooperation with Qatar and Saudi Arabia and Turkey, how they trust Egypt? Because they know the history of you. They know the history of the diplomacy of Egypt as a peacemaker. And we stopped the war in Gaza, right? But when it's come to Iran, the situation is totally different. Why? dealing with the Iranian regime, you are dealing with a regime have been planted in our region in 1979 after the Islamic Revolution. There is no look like a catalog of this regime. You don't know who is controlling who. Before, when Ali Khamenei is still alive, and that was the biggest and the most risky decision that Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump have been taking, killing Ali Khamenei, because Ali Khamenei, he was taking this administration and holding it with his hand. He was the one is making the decision. But now you are talking to three parts. Iran is divided from inside, because when you talk with the Iranian guards, when you talk about the government, and when you talk about the other revolutions, people that they are causing it now, and the Mujtaba Khamenei, you don't know to whom you are talking, and all of them is under the ground, and there is no direct communication. Even China and Russia, they cannot convince them to stop what they are doing, because what you did is, when you deal with an ideology, person have an ideology, you cannot deal with him as look like, I will kill you, you stop this, or I will kill you. No, his ideology is to kill himself against his beliefs. You cannot do that. What you need to do is, what you need to understand, that you kill the highest person in the administration, and they have a revenge plan. So to make the war stop, you need to go with those countries like Egypt, like Saudi Arabia, like Turkey now, trying to boil the fire down.
And this is what we are doing now, and we still, and this is in the framework of our foreign policies, constraints and stances. We'll be talking about this in detail, but please allow us to go to this report concerning the back and forth dynamics and the between the between Washington and Tehran, and of course concerning the latest statements of the American president yesterday concerning that was 1 hour away from striking Iran and destroying Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, this is on LTV International, our today's edition of the Breakfast Show. And now, after we listen to the report concerning the latest developments on the ground concerning the U.S.-Iran conflict, and of course striking the power plant of Baraka in Emirates, which is a new scale or a new phase of the war, new message sent by Iran to the Gulf and to the American side. We'll discuss this and continue to discuss this with our prominent guest here in the studio, Dr. Mohammed Hamza Al-Husseini, Egypt's Counsel to the United Nations. Once again, Your Excellency, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
And striking the power plant of Baraka in Emirates, it's actually a message, and strong message from the Iranian side to the whole world. Now my threats became to be reality, and now we are just striking and doing whatever everywhere. Nothing will stop us. So, strong message. How you found it?
I find it as how the representative of UAE in the Security Council, when he talked yesterday about that this strikes, the source of the strikes, it didn't come from Iran, it come from Iraq. And this is where the message is. Because Iran wanted to say is, yeah, you guys have controlled Hezbollah in Lebanon by some ways. You have eliminate, let's say, 50% of the power of Hamas in Palestine. Now you are trying to control in Yemen, and now in Iraq also you are trying to support the government to cut al-Hashd Shabi. But my arms and my hands is in everywhere. That's why the strike come from Iraq. And attacking this nuclear civilian project, this is look like a disaster, because you cannot do that. There is look like there is international law, there is the Security Council, there is the United Nations, there is all the organization who is supporting the development for the energy, for the civilians, and you cannot just attack them. If you wanted to if you wanted to deliver a message, deliver it to where the military attacks, as what you say in the beginning of this war, that you are attacking the GCC because there is an American bases over there, which was a lie, because before the start of the war, the American troops left those bases, and there was no attack to you from those bases, because we can say this basis, it's a domestic basis, and not doing any military action, it's for training. You got it? But here, when the strike started from Iraq to the United Arab Emirates, there was the message, it's look like it's a dangerous message that attacking the UAE and attacking a nuclear civilian project like that, Iran is saying, as how you are announcing,
Yeah.
as Donald Trump is announcing that you will come to attack us again, and you will make a full military action against Iran and the whole lands of Iran, we can still demolish any development in the GCC countries. And here, the problem to Trump, when he started this war, he didn't think that this ideology regime, he thought it's looked like Venezuela.
Yeah,
He go there with the
exactly.
Delta
in a couple
forces.
Of weeks we will finalize
In
the
1 week,
process
that's what he
for
was
the
saying.
operation, yeah.
But what he didn't think is Iran, they have look like 7 plans in how they will make United States shake. And now the image of the US as the most powerful country in the planet Earth have been shaked because of the Iranian.
Concerning that image and concerning the back and forth dynamics between the two sides, every front is actually consisting on the conditions of his own and just showing case of what we call it a powerful or show of power from both sides. Did we reach, or are we approaching the bottleneck, as of course the latest statements of Trump yesterday, as he was 1 hour away from attacking Iran and destroying Iran, and Iran or Tehran is warning against surprises. Is it a bottleneck?
Not yet. We didn't reach that yet. We need more 2 weeks to say that we reached the bottleneck. But talking about the posts that Donald Trump is putting in Threads or X in the social media, this is a business situation. Why? Starting from this war, there is American companies have gained over than $120 billion in the stock market. And there is websites for the bidding have been bought that America will attack tomorrow, and then the bidding will come, and there is some mysterious person who will win $1 billion in 1 hour, and tomorrow America will gonna to kill Ali Khamenei, and that will happen. So whatever posts that Trump is doing, it's for changing the situation, and I will not say manipulation.
It's actually happens in the exchange market and stock market and everywhere. Of course,
the stock market based of his posts, and he knows that because he is a businessman.
Exactly.
So you cannot rely as a people or as a country or an administration about whatever Trump is saying. If you wanted to know where this war is going, don't go with the situation that he is saying in the social media. No, go is what happening in the ground with Iran and the GCC countries, because the GCC countries, as what I say, this war will finish and end by the GCC countries and by Egypt, because as what you said, attacking this kind of places now in UAE and the GCC region, it was not an easy thing, and we didn't see it in the last 4 years. But now what's happening is Donald Trump is trying to manipulate all of us, even his allies. Now the GCC countries and the administrations there, they don't look to the American regime as how they was looking to the American relation before.
Yep.
And his visit to China, this is where the message is. Not anything, any person. He's in the political field and the international relation field. He will understand that Donald Trump will not go in any other military action towards Iran again.
Yep.